Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Topic Time with Harrison Young.
It's groovy music.
Good afternoon, everyone. Happy Groundhog's Day on Topic Time with Harrison Young. That snow you see behind me is not real, thank goodness. It's getting kind of cold out. But as usual, we are heating things up tonight with an awesome couple of guests. It's a Zoom interview. You guys may remember Carl Hamburger, who profiled me with his two gunslingers back in November on their podcast, WATP. And then I interviewed him on January 3rd. I had to believe just about a month ago. Well, today I'm interviewing his brother and the brother's wife and Carl's sister-in-law, Christina Marie. But before we get to them, they're all up in Rochester, New York by Zoom. Got to read these incredible underwriters. I got to turn the paper up, right side up, and then we will commence per usual. So I want to thank All the Country, king of the used car in Abington, #1 in the dealer raters from Massachusetts for 2021. Been with me since the beginning. Great customer service. We got them. We got Johnny Macaroni's Restaurants, great restaurants, 2 in East Bridgewater, 1 in Halifax. We got Auto Town Auto Glass and Auto Body in Abington. We got Lynch's Towing, Auto Cycle and Truck Center in Brockton, 1 number for towing, 1 number for projects. My pal Lynchy over there in Brockton, and always looking for new scrap metal tires, anything that helps with his automotive needs or your automotive needs. He's good for that. We got One Good Credit in Brockton. We got Fournette and Associates, PC attorneys at law in Brockton. We got my White Mountain Crystals in Plainville. Nice to have you back, Allison. Thank you. We got Uplifted Nutrition in Taunton, makers of great shakes and morsels, all nutritional, of course. We got Brian's Auto and Tire Service in Middleborough. We got Grant's Rental in Bridgewater. We got Doggy Boutique, all breed professional grooming for dogs and cats, run by my great next door neighbor, Debbie Siddell in Brockton. We got Easton Fitness right here in the Village Shops in Northeastern. We got the Gunrunner LLC in Middleborough, your Second Amendment Freedom Store. We got RW Carpet and Flooring in Norton, covering for us for 50 years. And we got good old Joe's Diner in Taunton. I want to thank you guys very much. And now officially, we got Christina Marie Hamburger and Grant Hamburger, right? Is that who you guys?
Yes.
Is that
Absolutely.
correct? Okay.
Yes.
All right. Well, that's awesome. You two are very interesting people. We're all part of the podcast family now. I've never had my ratings be any higher than since your brother.
Good.
Right. Oh, yeah. Well, you know that. You know, you're watching the numbers, I'm sure. And I'm sure you get plenty of good feedback. Well, Christina Marie, you just go by Christina Marie or Christina or what? I mean, I know on Facebook.
None of that. None of that.
What do you go by?
Chris.
Chris, okay, glad you told me. That's why we ask these questions. We got to get the formalities out of the way. All right, well, you're the one I originally booked the interview with, so we'll talk to you first, and then Grant, you interject anytime you want, and we'll talk to you as well. I'm profiling 2 guests, and I can do that very well. I can profile as many as I can do, as many as will sit with me, and that's what I've been doing for the last 12 and a half years, going in at 13. So, Christina, Chris, tell me about. Well, how did you wind up in this family first? And then we'll take you back to your childhood and all that stuff.
I tried to avoid it, but I couldn't. It was inevitable.
I figured that's what you'd say. Okay. No. Well, all right.
He found me in Verizon. Actually, I went to high school with Carl. I graduated with Carl in high school.
I'd ask what year if you want to tell me. I'd be interested, but that's up to
96.
Oh, you guys were probably born in 1978, which means that you were born the year after I graduated high school. Wow.
Oh boy.
I know. I'm old, but I don't feel it. I feel pretty good. Okay.
You're looking good too.
Oh, thanks.
But he came to where I worked and asked me some questions, and I said, "Oh, your last name is familiar. I went to high school with this person," and he says, "That's my brother." And
wow.
It was funny because they grew up down the street from me, and I never knew them.
Yeah, I hadn't met her until I just accidentally ran into her, and
no, nothing happened. There's no such thing as an accident. Everything happens for a reason.
Okay.
It was meant to be. I mean, that's. But I understand where you'd say accident, but look how perfect it worked out for you guys.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah, okay. He's perfect.
Perfect. Okay. All right. Now we're gonna profile each of you. Chris, we'll talk about. Tell me about your childhood. You grew up in Rochester as well, in the neighborhood, I suppose, in the hood, as they say, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I grew up in a really large Italian family, so.
Oh, Mangia.
Manja, yeah, lots of.
Okay. What was your maiden name? I'm just curious. What was your maiden name if you're Italian?
My mother is Caterone and Masucci.
Okay, I'm getting I may stop it for Italian food. We got some nice Italian restaurants here in Easton after I leave. And I'm getting
We like to
a name
cook
like that.
and make pasta.
Right.
I've taught him
pasta-
how to make pasta, so he's really good at it. He can make his own. He actually makes his own. We're talking to somebody who never boiled water, and now he makes his own pasta by
Okay.
himself.
Sweet. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Even
So
without
proud of
boiling
him.
water today, or did you learn to boil water since then?
Just
Or do you stir fry it? Some people do that.
Oh, that's a neat idea.
Yeah, I always think, listen, I always try to give advice to my guests that will behoove them sometime down the line. All
Awesome.
right, so you grew up in a large Italian family, and that's wonderful. And at the same time that you live in now, or nearby?
Yeah, same town.
Okay,
Yeah, nearby.
yeah, okay, I
Next town
got you.
over.
Okay. So what did you?
That's
So Chris, tell me what you aspired to as a kid. What did you want
Mm.
to do when you grew up?
I wanted to be a veterinarian or a pharmacist.
Okay. And you could be one for both, you could be pharmacist prescribe medicines for animals. I actually had to go to a pharmacist to get medicines for my cat once. She's not with me anymore, but it was hard to believe. I had to drive 30 miles, but she was worth it. So that can happen. Interesting. Well, so what,
I
but,
kind of would.
so what did you do instead? I mean, are you either now or not? Of both things?
Shipping cold chain pharmaceutical for biopharmaceuticals.
Oh, okay. So you got your hand in pharmaceuticals. Is that it? Okay.
A little, yeah. COVID,
Okay.
Pfizer, COVID.
Are you now, obviously, have either of you participate in a participatory mode with WATP? I mean, were you before or are you now? I know you are right now because you're talking to me. But
So
have you been-
personally, I do my best to stay out of it.
Okay,
You know, I don't do like any of the chatting or anything. This is the first time I've ever, done an interview or anything with it. I figured, why not? And no, she actually runs one of the online chats, or like she moderates it.
okay,
I dabble.
okay. And how long you been doing that for?
Maybe a year or so. I'm on the Discord, and I like to. I enjoy being on the Discord as the chaos queen. I am the chaos queen.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's her name on there is Chaos Queen.
I get it.
And-
Okay,
yep.
that's what the Discord's all about. That's what
Yeah.
Discord means, obviously.
It's
Okay.
a chat.
Yeah, I should
That's
definitely
sort of-
monitor that sometime. I'm sure I'd enjoy it. Based on some of the conversations we've had on Facebook, I'd say it's probably a humdinger.
It's
Yeah.
pretty fun. You can create your own Discord. It would be really marvelous. We'd have a great time.
Well,
I
I
could
couldn't
find
do
a
it by
date for you.
You could what?
I could find a date for you.
You've sold me. Wow. Well, there was one girl there that I mean, I don't know. I think she might live in the area. I think she might be of Indian descent, and she's kind of cute. You know what I'm talking about? Ravita or
I
something?
mean, maybe
that?
I'd have to look.
I don't want to.
There's a lot of girls.
I don't want to name drop too
Yeah.
much, but you got me going when you said date, obviously. So okay, all right. So you got this. You're doing that, and but what about the actual like participation of the podcast itself that Kyle does? Are you in that? Have you been in any of those episodes?
He doesn't like me.
No, he likes
That
it.
doesn't mean you wouldn't be in any of the episodes. If you qualified, you qualified.
Yeah. I sat in the studio for one, and the guest that was on was so talkative that
Yes.
I got 2 words in at the end, and by then I was exhausted, 2.5 hours in. It's just like, okay, I had things I wanted to say, but too long.
Okay.
So
All right. So basically, so you got your ear talked off, and then you gave up. I get it.
yeah.
Okay.
He has it pretty handled. Carl is very put together.
Oh,
He has
yeah.
it handled. He's got everything situated. He has talking points. He has a setup how he likes to do his podcast. He's got homework that he gives his people so that when they come on, they've got things researched and clips pulled. He's very put together and organized with his podcasting.
Well, don't I know it
Yeah.
from the profile he did on me? Thanks to our mutual friend Adam
Yeah.
Thoreau.
Adam is also amazing. We love Adam.
Oh, I know. He pushed my career to the brink of virality so far.
Good.
Since
I'm
last
glad
summer.
you deserve it.
Thank you. I'd
You're
argue
awesome. We
once
love
again,
you.
I'd argue if I could. All right. So, Grant, what do you do exactly? I mean, if you don't do, when you're not podcasting, what else do you do?
Everything.
I work a lot. I'm a tool maker. Like
Okay. Better than just being a tool, right?
yeah. My kids are both tools because Being a tool maker. Anyways, yeah, no,
I get it.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah, 'cause I
God.
made them. Okay, yeah, this is gonna be fun. Yeah, no, so like I'll make things for like automotive
Yep.
or gosh, medical. We do a lot of stuff for medical. So during COVID, I was working 7 days a week, like
Wow.
in 2020, just because I was making things that helped.
Could you
to
turn
get
your sound
labels
up a
on the
little bit? Your sound's
vaccines.
a little low.
He makes my lunch.
Okay. Do you eat it
Wait,
or do you give it to the homeless people? I shouldn't be saying stuff like that. It's PIC, but I
I
just,
eat it.
good, okay. That's good. Yeah, you
He
can help
makes
other
me
people out.
lunch.
You can cook
He
a meal.
takes care of me.
Yeah, as it should be. Okay.
I'd probably be dead.
Do you guys have children?
He has 2 of his own. I have 1 of my own.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's nice.
And-
It's like you got like a little Brady Bunch thing going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I got 1 grandson. So
Wow. Boy, I missed out on a lot of stuff. I got 0 children. But that's okay. Listen, I got plenty of living left to do. I got another 40 years.
You can still have your own kids.
Well, I don't know if I want to have my own kids, but I'd like to at least feel like, at least feel like I was in like having an opportunity to vent and say, well, even if we don't have kids, you're still the one, that kind of thing. But time will tell. We'll see.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, as long as we're talking about relationships failed and successful, mine have this is going back to last year. I've been treated pretty badly by a lot of females, and I'm trying to, keep a stiff upper lip in spite of that though, and
Yeah.
move on,
well, you're famous now. You're
That's
famous.
true.
You've
I
got
was
no
right. I
problem.
mean, if I wasn't famous, I wouldn't have even met any of these people. So sometimes fame doesn't always, fame doesn't always acquiesce to love, unfortunately. But
I got you.
right, but
It gives you the opportunity, but
yeah, exactly. I mean, it's not. I mean, listen, like I always try to say, I like to look at life like, no matter what you've been through, no matter what you failed at, considering what I've been able to do with my situation to accomplish what I've accomplished in my situation, because I am an autistic person. I don't know if you know that or if you've heard that or
Oh,
yeah,
no.
I'm high on the spectrum, and
You do very well for yourself.
I do very,
Very
well
well.
now, but I didn't always. What I'm saying is, as a kid, as a younger person, people thought I was mentally challenged. They probably still do. Sometimes I get the impression that people, and not as much now. I mean, because I'm more focused, and when you finally, but it took me so many decades to finally reach that plateau of feeling like I'm focused, and sometimes when you finally feel like that after you do something like what I'm doing, then people sort of, I mean, respect is not easy to come by. It's never been for
No.
me, and I still don't feel like I have it. I mean, I have some admiration. You guys are great, obviously, and the people that, that I, even 6 months ago, I couldn't have foreseen this. So this is what, this is so beautiful, obviously, having the WATP people on my, in my corner here. All right, well, tell me about, like, as far as like reaping the benefits of WATP. I mean, do you do anything, if not to the podcast itself, but do you do any public relations for them or any of that stuff? Networking at all?
I have a lot of fun with it, just like goofing around, making stuff that doesn't make any difference, I guess. Like if they want a t-shirt, I'll make a t-shirt.
Okay.
she makes t-shirts and hats and stuff. And this is actually from one of his newest shows, which is what is it? WAT.
Sweet.
Who are these socials with
Okay.
Blind Mike and Carl Hamburger.
Gotcha.
So that's why it's a hamburger with the glasses, because it's Blind Mike. I don't know if you can see
Oh
it.
It's a
yeah.
bad
I'm a
representation.
vegan, but I
Yeah,
do eat veggie burgers. I actually had one
Okay.
I had one last night, and they were delicious. I had 4 of them, so I get it. I like burgers too. Chris, hold up your shirt. I want to see can I read that again?
Vinny is part of Carl's.
Oh no, but what does that say? Hold up. Subreddit surfing. Oh, okay. Vinny and Cardiff, right. I'm still gonna get Cardiff on the show. I guess that's gonna happen at some point.
Yeah, we're
Oh, good. I hope
talking.
so.
We're talking to Cardiff about that, but they do their own little show because they
Okay.
surf literally subreddit because a lot of people don't know about the Reddit and the subreddit, and they go through it and explain
Okay.
it. It's a lot of fun. It's a show. It's a podcast.
Reddit to thread it, right?
It's Reddit is like an
I
internet.
threw a little poetic justice
Oh,
in
I
there.
didn't
Reddit to
quite
thread it,
hear
get
it.
it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yes. Sorry about
Yeah,
that.
that's okay. The girls will love it.
I'm a poet from way back.
Tell
That
it,
was my
yeah.
first. That was my first accomplishment, a book of poetry back in probably the year you guys were born, 1978. That's when it came out.
I'll
And I
have
was-
to find it.
Oh, I'll send you a copy. If I can find it, I'll send you a copy. My parents have a junk load at their house. Which, by the way, I'm still very lucky to have in my age too, both of
Oh,
them.
yeah.
They just
Yeah.
had the 66th wedding anniversary last Thursday.
Wow.
I know. We all
Nice.
sat together with their dog and we looked pretty good, I felt. And,
Oh, I saw that picture. Yes. I
yeah.
remember that picture. Yeah.
I was proud to share it and I'm so happy. Well, that's the
Yeah.
thing with me is that I'm now I've lived long. See, I used to shame them every day. I do something that, I mean, I almost got committed a couple of times as a kid. I guess you don't know that. That's what I'm saying. They didn't know what to do about me either. So they sent me to a bunch of shrinks when I was, in my preteen years. The shrinks told them I was psycho and should be locked up at a nut house for insane children for 3 years, which the only thing that kept me from that happening was they couldn't afford it. $10,000 tuition and they couldn't part with that kind of money. So
Oh, back then,
very
that's
lucky.
crazy.
Yeah, I know, but that's the point though. So,
Wow.
but even in later years, I still did stuff that made them think that I belonged in an institution, and but at least now I'm showing the other side of it. At least when I've lived long enough to see that, so which I'm very grateful.
You're
Obviously.
lucky that you didn't end up.
Oh, I know,
in
I'm
those
lucky, but again, I
places.
always say like luck and coincidence. I always say everything happens for a reason.
That's very true.
Yeah, I mean, I look at life as, like I said, every day, tomorrow, the best part of your life is yet to come. You got to look at that. You got to look at it that way, even if no matter how old you are, no matter what's gone down. And I can look at it like that because I've done so much stuff that I never thought I could do. And then looking forward, I still think there are things I can't possibly do, but I leave my mind is more wide open now than it ever was because of what I've already done. And I assume that's probably the case with you guys.
Yeah.
Well, tell me about the family growing up as kids, all of you. I mean, now that I got you on the show, well,
Yeah.
I talked to Kyle, but what was life like being with, the one of the number one podcasters, to be in history?
Yeah, I wouldn't say he's always been a star, but he's
Which one of you
always
guys is
been-
older, you or him?
Thank you. I'm older.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't. Well, okay, there you go.
No, I like
my
that. It
brother's
worked
younger,
out.
4 years younger, and they think they can't tell us either. They're all good.
Yeah.
That's a compliment. I'm glad you loved it.
Yeah,
Good. Okay,
absolutely.
go
I
on.
appreciate it.
Sure.
He's
Yeah,
a lot older.
yeah, I'm so much older. Yeah.
Okay.
I robbed the cradle with her. But yeah, so growing up, he was always like a little comedian. So
Okay.
he's always like looked for things that are funny and stuff like that. So I mean, am I surprised that he got as big as he did? Absolutely. I mean, you don't expect that to happen.
Exactly.
But at the
Turn up
same
the sound a
time,
little bit. Could you push a little? Turn.
This
well,
is-
I think the issue is that hers has the microphone on it.
All right. Could you switch a little for while you talk? It might be.
Okay.
Yeah. Do a little lovey-dovey there. That'll help. There you go.
Okay, awesome. Can you hear me now?
A little better. Yeah.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
wow. And actually, I can hear you better now too. Oh, this is nice.
Yeah. I told you.
Oh, this is
Sometimes you have
great.
to improvise, obviously. So go on.
All right, here, you take this one. Now we were both together. Yeah, this isn't live, thank goodness. Hey, so
Whoa.
I'm kidding.
You see what she just did? I love it. Okay.
Yeah, no, this
Okay.
is
Go
her.
ahead. We'll
This
talk
is,
about.
this-
Kyle
this,
is a
this is how
comedian.
this is how I fell in love with her. Yeah,
Yep.
no, and he picked up the guitar pretty early on.
Oh,
and-
yeah,
and
yeah, he
so
told
he's
me
always
about that.
he's always loved performing.
Yep.
So yeah, and always goofing around, always joking around, and yeah, it just it's amazing. It took a while for him to get. I always thought the music was what was going to make him big. 'Cause
Yep.
I've always loved his music.
Cool.
You know, when he first started out, I kind of helped him record stuff throughout the years, and then he realized he got people who were talented to help him out, and so yeah.
Okay, but he he told me that I mean, like me, I played music too for 7 years as a kid. I took piano lessons, and then
Oh, cool.
Oh yeah, I did it. I know how to read notes, and I was pretty good. People thought I was talented. The only problem was I just didn't feel I didn't get the stick-to-itiveness, and I was always worried about making a mistake. And you can't really once you hit a wrong note on a piano keyboard, you're screwed in a bad way. And so eventually, after falling behind into my studies for 3 years, 3 years in my studies, after taking lessons for 7 years, I decided to hide in the paint closet one day when my teacher showed up. And instead of just saying, I don't want to take lessons anymore, it's hard to do it if you've been doing it for so long. And so many people think you're talented. So in a way, it was the day that happened. It was a big load off my mind. It was a sad day, but it was a happy day at the same time. And so I love music and I love musicians and I listen to tunes every day. And so I get it. I mean, but like with me, he found a better calling for himself doing what he does. And,
Piano is the most difficult. You picked the most difficult instrument because it's
It
like the
is.
hemispheres of your brain. You have to do two different things with two
Good
different
point.
hands.
yeah,
That's difficult.
I know. Imagine, yeah. Yeah, it is. It's absolutely right. You're actually running the bass and the treble with the two different sides of your brain. I didn't even think of that. You should have been a science teacher. Well, you probably, maybe you could. You don't want to do science. You don't care.
I took a lot of science. A lot of science.
Yeah. Did either of you go to college at all? And if so, where? And what did you major in?
Yeah, I went to Brockport College, and I was going for computers originally,
Okay.
and ended up dropping out and getting married and having kids, and
Yeah.
that whole thing. And you?
I went to a couple different colleges, but I eventually
Got expelled from
stopped
both of them,
going.
did you? Just kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I still-
expelled from college.
Yeah.
That's great.
I was going for pharmacy and I got organic chemistry and clinical pharmacology out and quit. And then
Okay.
I went for travel, tourism, and hospitality and got a degree in that. And then all kinds of licenses in beauty school and nail school and all kinds of. I
Oh,
do
you-
a whole bunch of
She
stuff.
can do your nails when we come out your way sometime.
Well, she
You
can
know?
do my nails, but you have to make them for us because you're the tool guy.
Yeah, there you go.
Right? Yeah, I'm always thinking on cycles too, like that.
I like it.
Okay. Yeah, that's interesting. I love how they call it hospitality. Hospitality could be anything from food to, well, the stuff that people that you have
The
to
red
find in the
light
phone book.
district?
What's that?
Okay.
The red light district.
The red light district. Yes, yes. By the way, do you have a good one up there? No, I'm just kidding.
No,
Okay.
it's very dirty. No.
Yeah, no, it's
That
called
sounds
Lyle
like
Avenue.
it would be good.
It's Lyle Avenue, and
No.
you just want to avoid it. Trust me.
There's a lot of dirtiness. Dirty, bad, dirty.
Bad dirty. Got you. Not good
Yeah.
dirty. I
No.
got it.
Good
Okay.
dirty.
I'll stick with the combat zone in Boston. No, I'm just kidding. I don't do any of that stuff.
Okay.
That's-
You
but-
got one there in Boston?
Oh, I mean, you know what happened? They closed down the last strip club, I think, the Naked Eye, and then it kind of went down. But
Oh,
yeah, but it took a long time. Hey, listen, I love.
I did audition at a strip club once.
Tell me about it. How did it go?
I got
Did you
hired.
actually get buffed and wanted to be buff? You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, I was working out every day and I did P90X. I was like 127 pounds of solid muscle and they hired me on the spot and then I
Wow.
quit like
Did-
2 hours.
yeah.
Did you-
And then like her boyfriend told her no. Basically, it's like, no, your
He
dad
was
would
an
not be accepting
He
of
was
this.
he was
And
an ex-boyfriend. He says to me, he goes, "What do you think would happen if your dad walked in there with some of his Kodak buddies and saw you?" And I said, "Okay."
Wow. Well, so
I
you
thought it would be an easy way to make a lot of cash.
you gotta have a good G-string for that because that's where the cash goes, isn't it?
They wouldn't
Yeah.
let me wear it. They made me put on all kinds of clothes.
Oh, okay. Well, then you don't really qualify as a stripper if you're wearing clothes. But I admire the spunk and the ability to to understand that your body is the temple and it's a
Yeah.
shrine and it's not.
And
It
then,
doesn't have to be condemned. Yeah.
Harrison,
Yeah.
they closed down the strip club that I auditioned at. They wouldn't even let me show my nip nops.
Oh,
yeah.
well, but that probably had nothing to do with you. I mean,
I
or did it? Well, did it? Well, tell me, how did it?
No, it
Did it
didn't.
have something to do with you?
No.
Well, how many years elapsed between when you tried out for it and when they closed it?
10 years.
Well, 10 years. So yeah, it wasn't her.
I think you're off the hook. No pun intended, I guess. Wow. Okay. Well, I mean, you obviously you both have talents that I'm trying to find out more about that ordinarily, that's the great thing about topic time. You let the conversation take its course. And I say off the wall things, and then eventually we find out other things about the people I interview that they probably wouldn't have even mentioned before if I hadn't.
Yeah.
Okay. So do you,
I guess I have another one for you. I don't know if you noticed, but this is my Mountain Dew room. So
yeah,
I'm a
I
huge
did know. I
collector of
mentioned it at
Mountain
the
Dew.
beginning.
I've been collecting since the mid 80s. And I
Okay.
have tons and tons of different Mountain Dew. So this is only part of it. The entire room is just surrounded by Mountain Dew things, just different, been collecting and
That's it.
it's kind of a thing.
You know something? It's funny that I noticed now that all your stuff is Mountain Dew. I actually had a podcaster here from Connecticut. His name was David Fox 2 years ago. He came in like February 10th of 2021, and he had a whole shebang of stuff, videos dedicated to Mountain Dew. They were all funny as ever, and we got almost 1,000 views for that. I'll send it to you. It's still on the Easton website if you want. You can check it out. It's
Oh
pretty
yeah,
fun.
no, I'll check it out. Oh,
Yeah,
that's cool.
definitely. Well, guys, guess what? I hope you had fun because we're down to the final 5 minutes.
All right.
Is it?
There's
Definitely.
Mountain Dew
Yeah.
holding up the iPad that you're on.
Oh, it is?
Uh-huh.
No, but
Yeah.
no. The iPad I'm on is being held up by this lovely desk here, but you can't really see the desk because it's, but it's strong. I guess what's holding up your iPod is the Mountain Dew.
Yeah.
I have 12 packs stacked up.
It is a
To give it the
delicious
right
drink.
height.
It is a delicious drink, although I haven't indulged in soda in quite a while. But,
Okay. It's still
I get
just as
it.
good as you remember, though. Yeah.
no, I remember it. That's sweet. All right. Well, listen, now that we're down to the final 5 minutes, I hope you had fun. I hope you had a good discussion. That's basically what it's all about.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Great meeting
Okay.
you.
And what I'd like you to do is look at your monitor there, give shouts out to a bunch of people that are going to see the show. You can start with the immediate family, and then we'll wrap it up with my music the way we started it. So, and you can help too if you want. So go ahead.
Absolutely. Well, first I'll go real quick is obviously my brother Carl,
Hey, the
my mom
man.
and dad, who they're starting to watch the show a little bit too, and they're going to be at a live show this weekend.
Yeah, I
We're
know
doing the
about that.
dab-
Up at what do they call it? The cab doll or something.
Dabblecon.
Well, it's
Dabblecons.
Dabblecon. It's a comedy of the Carlson.
Gotcha.
And by the time this comes out, that show will already be over.
Oh, I
but,
know. Well, we'll edit it
yeah.
to we should have it up by early next week. Okay, so
Okay.
you get that coming up. That's right. I'm glad you remember.
Yeah. Yeah. My
Okay.
parents will be there, and it's great. And
Bob
they'll
and
be
Janine Hamburger.
so they'll be there. And
My shout out
Go ahead.
is gonna go to Vinny.
Vinny. Okay.
Vinny doesn't
Vinny.
laugh at me and
Vinny
Vinny,
Paulino.
got it. Okay, sweet.
Vinny. Vienna. Vinny.
Like a Vienna wafer. That must be.
They have some sort of following. Oh, and the Creep Off. If you like true crime, you should watch the Creep Off live on YouTube.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, is that whose podcast is that?
That's
That's
also
Vinny.
Carl. It's also
Oh.
Carl
Vinny.
and Vinny together, and it's a
Okay.
weekly thing. And basically, they talk about true crime.
Yep.
But like they laugh about it, so they goof on it. It's basically
Make sure you put that.
it's the
in
best way
there.
to put it. They goof on true
Well, it's
crime.
nice to
So-
be able to goof on some of the darkest, tight assets of
exactly.
this universe
Exactly.
of ours.
They give you ideas on how to hide bodies since Siri won't do it anymore.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, if you had fun with me, if you want, you can give my digits to anybody else that you think might be a good guest for
Absolutely.
me. And have me we can do it by Zoom like we're doing now. That's right. Keep flaunting that, or we can send them down here and we'll have them on in person. Either way.
I
All right.
would love to meet you. I think it would be awesome.
Yeah.
to
Next
come
time we're
to
out that way.
Oh, definitely. You guys can stop at any time. I have an open door in my house, even except when it's on wintry days. I do lock it.
Yeah.
You keep the heat
But-
in.
Well, so
That's
look, I
pretty
have one
cool.
more. I have one favor to ask. After we wrap the
Okay.
show up, would you guys stick around and do some pictures for Facebook?
Sure.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. Great job, guys. Thank you so much for being on my show. You're both awesome together. I can see where the the unity comes from. If you want to find me a date, I'm down for that too. Oh, there you go. All right. So we're gonna wrap the show up, and then we're gonna do pictures, and then we'll be done, and I'll see you guys next week with more great guests. So thanks for watching Topic
Awesome.
Time, folks. Have a good one. Bye bye. We are signing off.
I don't have rhythm.
Carol did a great job butchering this the song. Yeah.